The leader of the gang that went on a stabbing spree near Durban's beachfront yesterday has been arrested. Reliable sources say the
wielding men left 8 people injured, most of whom
mentally...
Natal's police chief, Major-General IG Coetzee, has called in a crack team of special investigators to solve the mystery surrounding the killing of 6 people in a bus ambush at KwaMashu on Tuesday night.
Murderer and former AWB member Eugene Marais has been sentenced to death 7 times for the Iveco bus massacre outside.
Marais claimed that he and the other 2 accused had been motivated by an unprovoked knife attack on several white pedestrians by a group of black youths in Durban earlier the same day. The judge said the court could not regard
the Orde Boerevolk and the AWB have been found guilty on 7 charges of murder and 26 charges of attempted murder in the Supreme Court.
Outside the court, a man who lost an arm in the attack told us he was very sorry for Marais, who was still a young man, and also for his family, especially his wife and children. However, he said Marais should have thought about the consequences of his actions before carrying out the attack.
Piet Botha and Eugene Marais applied for amnesty at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings in Durban this week. The killing of 7 people on the night of 9 October 1990 was a politically motivated act of war, they said. In June of that year, Piet Rudolph, leader of the right-wing organization the Orde Boerevolk, stole weapons from the South African Air Force headquarters in Pretoria and declared war on the Nationalist Party government. He sent this video to the Beeld newspaper.
Dat ons met elke middel tot ons beskikking die regering sal beveg en die omverwerping daarvan vir ons die hoogste prioriteit is.
Shortly after this, Piet Botha was recruited into the organization and ordered to establish a cell in Richards Bay. He, in turn, recruited Marais and Smits.
We prepared ourselves for an onslaught against our people, and on the morning of the 9th of October 1980, I heard on SABC News that a group of about 30 black people clad in PAC t-shirts had attacked whites on the Durban beachfront. Since we had already declared war against the National Party, and as a result of this attack, I, as cell leader, felt that we should launch a counterattack to prove to the government of the day and to show to it that the road it was following was full of danger and that incidents of this kind would increase in frequency. Our purpose was also to show to the PAC and its communist allies that attacks of this kind would not be tolerated. When I heard of the attack, I immediately contacted Adrian Smits and Mr. Eugene Marais and asked them whether they had heard about the attack. We then decided that we would act against these attackers. We then left for Durban that same evening. We drove to Durban and planned to attack a taxi. We did find a taxi and started following it, but the taxi turned off from the freeway and we then decided to abort that particular attack. We decided that it was late at night and that we should rather return home. And we decided to go to a petrol station to buy some cool drinks before returning home.
At that point, a bus drove past and it seemed to us to be a suitable target. We followed the bus And in a quiet road, where there were no other cars, we overtook the bus. Mr. Botha gave the command, fire. We shot at the bus. We fired, we passed the bus. About 500 meters further up, we turned round. We passed the bus again. We got onto the highway, the freeway, N2 North, and we returned to Richards Bay, and we arrived back at about 4 in the morning.
The victims of the incident came not only to listen to the hearing of these men's application, but to oppose it by telling their stories and showing their scars.
But I realized that there is something drastic that is happening. Then I heard some noise coming from outside. When I listened properly, I realized it was gunfire. I tried to think quickly and I grabbed my stomach and blood was filling my hands. That's when I started feeling dizzy and I fell.
And look at me, I lost my husband. I lost a husband, someone that and my children as well lost a father. His mother lost her only child, the only child who was taking care of her.
Yes, I would have been prepared to forgive, but I hear the manner in which they address the commission as well as the manner in which they present their story. They show no remorse whatsoever.
It was not our purpose to kill as many people as possible. Our purpose was to prove that if these attacks were launched against the Boer people, that we would retaliate, that we would hit back. There's no point in just shooting people at random. Then we could have done that in Richards Bay, for instance, and not go to Durban.
But that's exactly what you did do. You shot at people in a bus at random, intending to kill them.
We played according to the rules laid down by the PAC with their attack that morning. They went to the beachfront and killed people and injured them.
What they could have done to bring this thing more within the political ambit of what they had in mind was to have sought out the PAC, sought them out in the sense of looking for them and bombing their offices if need be, or even going as far as the top and assassinating the chief of the PAC, as abhorrent as that might be.
I would like to refer you today to the words of our present state president when he said at his inauguration this year that we should forget the past. What is past is past.